Hello and welcome to The Creator's Angle. I'm your host, Big Phil, and I'm thrilled you're here with me. In this series, we're going to dive deep into the world of digital creation. We'll talk gear, techniques, and the real-world experiences of turning a passion for images into something more. And for our first episode, I'm starting right at the beginning. It's a question I get asked all the time. What gear do you use? And how did you choose it? Today, it's all about the foundational decision. Jump from the casual shooting to a serious setup that completely transformed my creative workflow. So grab your headphones, turn the volume up, and let's get into it. So, to really understand why I landed on Sony, you need to know where I came from. My journey with photography isn't new. It's actually started way back in 2006 with a Fuji camera. And then in 2009, I got more serious and invested in the Canon 40D with a selection of zoom lenses. I love that camera, but life happens, priority shifts, and in 2014 I sold all of my Canon gear. For the next 7 years, my camera was my smartphone and the GoPro for adventures. My biggest frustration was low light. The real turning point came when I started my YouTube channel in 2021. I recorded the first couple of episodes on my phone and it felt amateur. I know, the best camera is the one you have in your pocket, and at the time it was my iPhone. My partner Anya had just upgraded to a Sony a7 III. I borrowed it and that was the moment. The clarity, the depth, the difference between that tiny phone sensor and the massive full-frame sensor in the Sony was night and day. Right then, I knew I had to upgrade. So, the research phase began. Because Anya already had Sony lenses, going with Sony myself was a massive strategic advantage. We could share everything. So if your partner is in one ecosystem and you buy new gear, go for the same ecosystem. But if you're making this decision today, the landscape is incredibly competitive. If you were looking at Canon, for example, their EOS R8 is a fantastic full-frame mirrorless competitor to something like the A7C. And the EOS R6 Mark II is a direct rival to the A7 IV. For Nikon fans, the Z5 and Z6 second generation are incredible, robust cameras with fantastic ergonomics. And you can't ignore Fuji X series like the X-T5, which offers a different experience with its beautiful film simulations and tactile details. My choice was Sony, but honestly, there's never been a better time to be a creator, no matter which brand you choose. For me, the checklist was 4K video, S-Log 3 for color grading, and a wide selection of lenses. Sony ticked every box. Plus, so many creators I admired were using Sony. And being able to swap lenses with my partner, that sealed the deal. Trust me, it's very convenient. I landed on a Sony a7C. It is the same full-frame sensor as the bigger a7 III, but in a much more compact body. My third lens was the Sony 20mm f1.8 G lens, perfect for talking head videos and vlogging. Later, I added the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 hard lens, which I've upgraded since to the Sony 24-70 f2.8 G Master 2nd generation. I also added a second body, the Sony a7 IV. The feeling of unboxing a7C, it was special. The first photo I took was of a sea har, a thick Scottish fog. For those who don't know what a sea har is a fog coming from over the sea towards the mainland, and it's a Scottish name. The way the camera rendered the soft light was breathtaking. The biggest wow moments were the incredible eye autofocus, which is 100% reliable for a solo creator like I am, and the stunning low light performance can't be beaten. The biggest challenge? The famous Sony menu system. It's powerful, but it's dense. And that leads me perfectly into two new segments I want to make a core part of every single episode. The pro tip and the pro idea. Okay, for this week's pro tip, it's a classic Sony hack. You can assign a custom button to a function called APS-C Super 35mm mode. This lets you instantly punch in on your sensor, giving a full-frame lens 1.5 times more reach. So your 50mm lens becomes a 75mm lens with one button press. It's incredible for getting a tighter shot without changing your lens. Check the show notes for a link to a tutorial on how to set it up. I linked one of the videos of other creators from YouTube. It's worth checking out. And for this week's pro idea, since we're talking about getting a new camera, your creative assignment is this. My first 24 hours. For the first day, with your new camera, shoot only in aperture priority mode. Just focus on composition and learning how depth of field and a wide landscape. See how changing the aperture changes the story of the image. It's the best way to truly connect with your new gear. So with that in mind, looking back, would I make the same choice again? Absolutely. The only thing that I might have done differently with an unlimited budget would be to jump straight into the cinema camera like a Sony FX3, my dream camera. And that leads me to my biggest piece of advice for anyone listening. The most important thing you can do is start shooting. Just press that record button. Gear is important, but knowledge, persistence, and practice are most important. And that's a wrap for today's main topic. Before you go, I want to quickly mention something important. I've put together a list of all the gear discussed in this episode, from the cameras and lenses to my microphone, right in the show notes and podcast description. These are affiliate links, which means if you're thinking of picking up some new gear and you use one of my links, I receive a small commission at absolutely no extra cost to you. It's a simple, free way to support this podcast and my YouTube channel, and it helps fund future projects and content for you. So if you found this episode valuable, check out those links. It's a massive help. Thank you so much for that in advance. Okay, that's it for me. Next week, on the Creator's Angle, we're taking to the skies to talk about my first experience with other giant in my gear bag, DJI. We'll cover the magic and a slight terror of flying a drone for the very first time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you don't miss it. Until then, keep creating.